Hello and welcome to my wild knitting podcast. My name, I never said my name in the podcast, but my name is Martina Elisabetta. You can either call me Martina or Elisabetta, whatever you like. I'm drinking some yarrow and mugwort tea that I foraged this summer. And today we'll talk a little bit about the finished objects and my work in progress projects that I have on my needles. And then I would like to invite you to do a knit along with me if you wish. It's a very simple knit along, but I'll talk about it towards the end of the video, so those who are not interested can just skip that part. So yeah, let's start with the finished objects and what I'm wearing, because it's a finished object. I show it on the other video, on the previous episode, but I actually unraveled the bottom part because it was too cropped for me. So I finished it some days ago and then I blocked it, and this is my Ranunculus knitted in Drops Alaska. I already talked a bit about this garment. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. It still has quite some centimeters of positive ease, so it's quite kind of a bit oversized, but not as oversized as it would be if I would have knitted it in the right or in the recommended gauge or with the recommended needles. In fact, I decided to go down 2 needle size. So I knitted it with the 4mm circular needles, so to kind of have a tighter gauge and a more fitted garment, but it's still quite cozy. It's not like really too tight, and I really like this garment. I think it has it's a really beautiful garment. I love this pattern. I think lots of people like this pattern. It's a very easy but elegant and a bit romantic garment. I think if you are a beginner and you wanted to do just a tiny bit of lace or texture work, this is the pattern for you, I believe. And I will knit more of this pattern, and I knitted another one, a short sleeve, and now as you will see soon, I'm knitting also a more kind of spring summerish garment version of this Ranunculus. Okay, so this is the finished garment, and I did some modifications as usual. I love to modify patterns. For some reason I'm like a disobedient person. Like I can follow for a while and then I'm like, what if, and just go astray. And so the modification that I've done, it's I did a bit of the creases in the waist, and I did this kind of 1x1 ribbing plus I-cord edging on the bottom hem, just because I thought it was cute. So yeah, I really like how it fits. It's really warm. This wool, it's okay. It's nice. It's not my favorite or the best yarn ever, the Drops Alaska. This is the colorway 66 Toffee. Yeah, as I was saying, it's not really my favorite type of yarn, but it's a really good yarn and it's really affordable. So nothing to say about that. And with the leftovers of these leftovers with the scraps of this garment, I knitted a headband. There it is, matching. This headband is a super nice, easy, free pattern. I think it's the Thicket headband by Mirella Moments. Yes, and yeah, it's a pretty beautiful headband. It's kind of chunky, and I knitted it in this with the same yarn, Drops Alaska, and the needle size 5mm. And I actually really like this pattern, so much so that I am knitting another one. And it's actually, I was a little bit like concerned that it would take a bit of, brain power. I wanted to do some, easy, mindless knitting, but it actually becomes like, once you learn the 4 rows repeat that goes on and on, you're good to go. I could just go out and knit walk and not worry about, reading the pattern. So this is another amazing beginner friendly pattern. If you never knitted braids, this is a really good pattern to start with, I would say, because it's a small garment, so it's not like an endless knit. And I really like it. I like it that you can wear it. Now I have these cute bums, so I'm not gonna wear it, but you can wear it both sides. You can wear it like this or you can wear it like this, so it's really nice and keeps my ears warm. And I actually don't own a hat. I always knitted. I spent the past, I've been knitting for 4.5, 5 years, and the first like 4 years, no, the first 3.5 years, I just knitted hats, and I don't currently own a hat. How is it, yeah, but I don't own a hat for me, and I could definitely knit one, but this winter I'm really into headbands. I think they're cute, they're feminine, they're easy to knit, and they do protect your ears and your, a bit, most of your head. And then you can wear, your hair up if you have long hair, and yeah, they're cute. It's nice and it matches. I think it's really nice to use all the scraps, or most of the scraps, so you don't have, super small skeins lying around. And yeah, another finished object. This one for me is a knitting milestone. So I consider myself, as I mentioned before, I think, I consider myself an advanced beginner. I've been knitting serious garments. What I mean with serious garment, I mean like, proper color work or texture sweater. I start to knit them this autumn, like at the end of August. So I'm a fairly beginner knitter, but I think that I learned quite fast, and I knitted quite a lot to be kind of a beginner. But yeah, I started to actually follow a pattern not so long ago. As I said in previous podcast. But this for me is a knitting milestone because I thought that when I saw it the first time, when I saw this pattern the first time, I really liked it, but I thought I was a little bit intimidated. I was like, this is gonna take so much brain power, this is gonna be so difficult. Am I willing to put this effort in just a t-shirt? But actually, and then on the Raverly page of the designer, which is Pia Trans, by the way, this is the Brise pattern. In her Raverly page of this garment, there was written like, it's a good pattern for beginners. And I was really like, really? It doesn't really look like for beginners. But it actually, once you figure out how the chart works and what the symbols mean, you're good to go. It flows on the needles. It's really amazing to knit on this. And I did some modification as usual, like as you saw on my Ranunculus, I did this like 1x1 ribbing plus I-cord edging. I don't know, but for some reason I think it looks really nice. But I bet that the knitting community will be like, what? You did a ribbed hem and then a high cord? What? But I don't know. I really like it. And I really like how it fits. It has this beautiful textured yoke, and it has these bubbles, how do you say? These bubbles that I actually didn't know how to knit, of course, and I learned it with this garment, and I was always as well intimidated by bubbles. I thought, how do you knit almost three-dimensional bubble, if that makes sense? And I learned it's quite easy. It's not the quickest knit to knit with bubbles, but I think it's really beautiful. And look, woo, they so cute. I don't know, but this makes me so happy, so happy. And is actually not fitting super, I don't know, on me. I really like it, especially with a pair of jeans or maybe with a skirt. But I think I'm gonna knit another one a little bit, maybe. I think I knitted the size S or second, but I think I'll knit a size XS, so it fits a little bit more, with less positive ease. And yeah, I love it. And I used this yarn. I have my basket there. I used this yarn. This is the Giza or Giza, and it is an Egyptian cotton yarn made by this brand Borgo de Pazzi, which is an Italian brand, and I love this yarn. I mentioned it before as well. Now I don't know how this will behave once I start wearing it and washing it, so I don't want to give like a super positive review of this yarn because I don't know how it wears, but I love to knit with this one. I usually don't really like to knit with cotton based yarns. For some reason they don't feel the best on my hands, but this one, it feels so soft. It feels like it's a blend of cotton and silk because it's so nice and soft. It's so beautiful, and it's also smelling great for some reason. And this is the colorway 2. So it's a kind of a whitish, warm white, cream whitish, if that makes sense. But I think on camera you can definitely see this is the real color. I love this garment. What do you think? Would you like to knit on this? I wish I could gift you this pattern, but I don't think you can send this pattern to other people. Maybe I can send you, maybe I can buy it. I don't know. I would like to gift to some of you this pattern if you're interested. Maybe do a small giveaway, and yeah, because it's an amazing pattern, and if you really like it and maybe you don't want to spend money on a pattern like this, I can see if I can gift it to you, but not too many people because I'm not the richest at the moment. Yeah, so I could do a giveaway and find a way to gift it to someone, because I would really like to hear your opinion about this pattern. Yes, so this was another finished object, and I think we're done with finished objects for this week. So let's start to talk about my whips. So the other day I started to knit. What's happening here? 2 days ago I casted on another Ranunculus. Who would have guessed? I think at some point I become very boring because you will see me knitting the same patterns over and over again. I don't know, but this pattern I really like it, as I mentioned before, and I casted on this another Ranunculus. This is the front actually, but you don't really see so much. I'm kind of finishing the textured yoke, and for some reason, I'm not sure I'm 100% convinced about this yarn choice or color choice, but I chose to have 2 colors, as you can see. I'm sorry, this is not really the proper way to show you a garment, but yeah. And yeah, I chose to have 2 colors. Sorry, I'm just gonna, you know what? You stay out of the needles then, stitches. But yeah, so these these 2 colors, I don't know, are they fitting together? We'll see. I think I'll keep knitting with these 2 yarns and see. Maybe I should have just, knitted with the main, with this brown color, brownish color. But for some reason, I like these 2. And to be honest, I don't have too many skeins of this yarn. So I was like, let me, so there is also that. I'm kind of playing yarn chicken. How do you say? So the 2 colors that I'm knitting it with are these beautiful yarns. I think these are 2 beautiful colors. This is the Drops Bomull-Line, which is a blend, I think is 53% cotton and 47% linen. So it's a blend between linen and cotton. This is the label. Drops Bomull-Line. And I kind of like this yarn. I like it. It feels, as usual, like linen yarns are more dry and more stiff, so that's normal. But I like it because it has some kind of like some sort of shininess to it. Not super shine, but it's nice. And this one is a cone, and this is 100% linen, and you can definitely feel the difference. This is the one of the most stiff yarns that I have ever knitted with. So I have mixed feelings. I don't know. What do you think about plant-based yarns that are a bit stiff? I'm kind of split in two. One side I'm like, that's interesting, nice. It feels strange, but it's interesting. Another part of me is like, I would like to knit with something softer. But I think it would be beautiful. And the feeling of linen garments on my skin is just the best feeling. So I'm really looking forward to try it, to try to wear it. It's so fresh and nice in the summer especially. And this is kind of like a light beigeish grayish, if that makes sense. 100% linen, and this is an Italian brand. I mentioned this on my other, the stitches are coming out of the needles, they're bothering me. But I mentioned these two yarns on my stash episode, if you're interested. I don't have a huge, big stash, but I have a few cones of plant-based fibers that I'm really interested to knit with. So yeah, this is another garment that I'm super excited, and I'm really like, I'm almost prioritizing this above all the other whips, and I know that I should finish other garments that have been on my needles for longer. And okay, so the other whip, this is a quick one. This is the headband that I mentioned before, the thicket headband. And it's in this like nice woolly yarn. This yarn was in my stash. It was a kind of fairly small skein. I got it from my mom. She had it in her stash for I don't know how many years, and I just saw it and I really liked the color, so I asked her if I could get it, and she gave it to me. And it's really nice, it's a nice knit. It's super quick. I bring it with me when I'm like out walking and I don't want like a big garment to carry with me. And I was actually thinking I would like this to be a headband, but I was almost thinking that I like to knit a small pouch, so to fold it like this and sew the sides and then put kind of like a button here, like maybe knit it longer and then fold it and put a button and have like a small cute little pouch where I can put my camera or other things. What do you think? Maybe I should knit another one with a more firm yarn, if that makes sense. Maybe that doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's another cute headband. So this will be my third headband. Then I think I will be good to go. I will not need more headbands. Or maybe yes, in a plant-based yarn. Enough. Okay, so last two whips. Here. Yay! So this is how much time? Okay. So this whip, I showed it in my third episode, the January knits. So I started it in January and it's now laying in this nice basket that I found in a second-hand store. These are the yarns. Yeah. Okay, so this, I think some of you saw it if you followed me. This is the Golden Fern by Jennifer Steingas. How do you pronounce her surname? And I finished, the other day I finished one sleeve, and now I'm on to the next one. And I really like this pattern. There's not so much to say about it. I love it. It's a really I knitted another pattern by Jennifer Steingas and it's a kind of a very similar knit, only the color work changes. I actually am not so much of a fan of this seamless increases. You knit it top down, right? And it has this seamless increases that you basically really don't see so much. Only towards the end of each sleeve there is some sort of raglan increases. I prefer raglan increases that you can actually see the raglan shapings, if that makes sense, than the seamless increases. But I think it is kind of still elegant and nice, and I'll see once I start wearing it and once I will block it how it will feel. But it's a very beautiful pattern. I think the pattern asks for both 4 or 3 colors that are kind of blending together in the color work, but I chose 2 because I really liked these 2 yarns. And talking about the yarn, I mentioned this yarn before. I knitted with this yarn. I have to cake it, this one. I knitted with this one already, my Felix cardigan, and it's a beautiful yarn. I believe it's from New Zealand. It's a New Zealand wool, but I bought it on Etsy from a small family-owned business, I believe. I'm not sure, called Yarn Home. So go check them out if you're interested. The yarns are super affordable and they have beautiful different types of yarns. And then I'm pairing it with this other skein, and this is still from Yarn Home, by Yarn Home. Nice. So this is a beautiful knit, but I'm kind of slow with this one because I'm super into summer, spring textured knits these days, so I'm kind of prioritizing those type of knits. So, but I still want to finish it and wear it before the summer, before the end of spring. I don't know. And another width that I casted on, I think last week, and now I'm kind of not super into it, but I think it's a really nice mindless knit for me. So I'll just knit on it when I feel like. And this is a cardigan. I'm kind of following a pattern, but it's not really following it for real. I'm kind of just using the stitch count, the numbers of a size S of the Everyday Raglan by Ship and Stitch and Ship. I'll put it on the screen. But I'm really not following it to the detail, how do you say, because that's a pullover, like a sweater, and this is a cardigan version because I wanted to knit another cardigan. I don't own many cardigans. I think I have the other one I made, the Felix cardigan, and another cardigan I bought secondhand. And I think I really like cardigans. You can just, throw them on, wear them open, closed, whatever. They're nice. And I really like this yarn. It's from the same brand I mentioned before, Yarn Home. Woo! And has this beautiful kind of beigeish color. And yeah, I really like this knit. I love the raglan increases of this pattern. It's so neat. Don't know if you can see it. And yeah, instead of joining it in the round after some rows, I just kept knitted flat. And yeah, and then I'll do some rib edges, and put some cute little wooden buttons. And by the way, me and Mika are making more wooden buttons. So if you're interested to buy some, I'll maybe put them on my Ko-Fi profile, either there or on Etsy. But I think on Ko-Fi I want to try there too. We'll see. I'll let you know in future episodes. Yeah, me and Mika, if you don't know, made some wooden buttons out of some leftover wood that we had in the wood workshop, and I used those buttons on a cardigan that I made, and the Felix cardigan. Sorry. And yeah, they look beautiful. And another knitting friend, follower, knitting fellow podcaster bought a few, and she said she liked them, so I'm really happy, and that gave me a bit more confidence to be like, okay, I can make some buttons and just sell them. If you like them, you probably will find them on my Ko-Fi page. But honestly, I don't know so much about the shipping costs for outside the EU, because I'm in Europe. So I hope it won't be too expensive, but I'm afraid it could be. But I'll let you know, right? So, okay. Another cardigan, really nice one. But I'm more into the, summer plant-based fiber knits. And I have other whips that I probably showed you on the January podcast, January Knits podcast, but I haven't. If I'm not showing you those whips now, it's because I haven't worked on them, so I haven't made any progresses. So that's it for today. But before we close this episode, I would like to invite you to do a knit along with me if you wish. I'm gonna do it anyway. If you want, you can do it. Otherwise, see you next time. And it's a knit along about plant-based fibers, because I want to learn to use plant-based fibers and the different feeling textiles created by them, and and I would like to start knitting spring garments. So I found some free patterns. I'll put them on the screen. I'll link them on the description box below. They are free patterns, and they are beginner, some are beginner friendly patterns, and some of them are more intermediate, I'll say. But they have different, they're short sleeves or sleeveless patterns, and I like them because they're free and they're cute. But I also have some patterns that are not free that you can purchase, and I'll link them below as well. So if you are not interested in these free patterns, you can, and still want to join, you can choose one of those that you can buy. And of course you can choose to have your own pattern and kind of suggest it as well. It would be really nice. So just if you want to join, just join regardless. It would be nicer if you use a plant-based fiber, so we can also share a bit of the, like, how it feels to knit with that fiber and how it wears, and different things. And yeah, I'll create an hashtag now. I don't know, but yeah, and we can share our progresses on Instagram if you like. And I like to have another platform. You can suggest any type of platform. I'm not sure I would like to have a group on Facebook, nor on WhatsApp, but maybe Telegram or Discord, Slack. I don't know what you like. But yeah, I'll start this knit along probably in 2 weeks, so there is still time for us to join and figure out what the terms of this knit along. And yeah, that's about it, I think. I'm all of a sudden my energy is just, probably I need a coffee. So I'm gonna go and make a coffee, and thank you so much for joining. I'm so grateful for all of the people that subscribed to the channel. I didn't expect so many people. Like, I expected some people to join and have a conversation with me, but never this much or this many. So thank you very much, and I want especially to thank the people that commented on my previous videos. I see you. I try to reply to all of you. It's the kindness there, here, it's overflowing, and I'm just, let me not get emotional. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, the knitting community is the best community. That's sure. That's for sure. And it's a pleasure to be in this community. I think makers in general are more kind and understanding than people that are not super creative or not making so much, because they know the struggles. They put lots of care. We put a lot of care in what we do, and we have so much patience. We're very patient. I always get that word wrong for some reason. But yeah, I'm very happy to be a knitter. Very proud in my heart. Thank you so much for joining again, and let me know if you're interested to buy buttons, so I can set up a page for it. And if you're interested to participate to the welcome spring knit along, and that maybe can be the hashtag. And yeah, thank you. I'm wishing you beautiful wild knits and adventures, and see you next time.